Hello, I'm Forrest and I've got a problem. Look at this background. What's going on? I'm at the Comedy Inn in Miami. I'm in the green room of the Comedy Inn, and this is where the Wi-Fi is good. I'm staying here at the inn. So that's where I'm at. This is not my new place. Thank you, Mike, for the good Wi-Fi. These, you know what? I didn't even mention last time. I got some new reading glasses to use in the podcast. They're non-reflective. They were supposed to be non-reflective, but they look a little bit reflective. And there's like some weird shadow going in because the light's up there. Things can't be perfect, but I do hope to be in an actual podcast studio in the new year. That is my goal. It'll probably cost me about $1,000 a month to do the podcast out of a podcast studio, but I want to kind of swing that. So I think that's what I'm shooting for. You guys have been donating money, so I think I can make that work. I do appreciate all the money people have donated. I bought a new microphone. I bought basically a new camera, tripod, this, that. I use it obviously for the hosting services and the different things I have to, to get thumbnails and things made. But I think I can, now that all that stuff is there, I can repurpose the money that people have been giving to me to get that done. Anyways, probably a thought I should have just had to myself and not discussed in the podcast. But thanks everybody that's new to the podcast. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being here. Subscribe and rate. Please comment. If you're listening to this, please just leave me a comment on YouTube or Apple. We need new comments. I have some people doing it, but it's the same people. Just go on there and be like, blah, blah, blah. You could literally type that, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Good podcast. Or just say, hey, thumbs down. Shove it up your ass. It all helps. Forshaw.net for all my upcoming shows. I don't have a lot going on this week, but I do have a bunch of shows coming up. I've got shows still in Florida. I'm going to be in Winter Haven, the Tampa area. I'm going to be outside of New Orleans beginning of the year. I'm going to be in Chicago in here. I'm going to be running the Ocean Hates You show. I'm starting to run that January 24th. I'll be in downtown LA, and then February, get these dates right because I'm always saying the wrong dates. February, what do you call it? 4th, I'll be at Mike Mania in Chandler, Arizona. That's in Phoenix, Arizona. I will be running the Ocean Hates You show, my new show. I'll be running it there one night only. Then February 6th and 7th, I'll be at the Comedyplex outside of Chicago, Illinois. And then February 17th through March 1st, I'll be at the Adelaide Fringe Festival at the Howling Owl. And I will be running the Ocean Hates You show there every night except that Monday on the 23rd. I'll be running it every night at 7:15 p.m. It's a 1-hour show. It's interactive. There's giveaways, there's trivia, there's videos. It's going to be fun. And then March 4th through the 7th, I'll be at the Comics Lounge in Melbourne. March 4th through the 6th, I'll just be doing my regular stand-up show there. So come out and check that out. And on March 7th, I'll be running the Ocean Hates You show as well there, my show. Then I'll be at the Pechanga Casino March 13th and 14th, just out of San Diego. I'll be at Las Vegas March 16th through the 22nd at the Comedy Cellar. Got a bunch of shows with Jim Jeffries coming up. I'm hoping to do some stuff here at the end in April that I'll come up and talk about when that comes up. But go to forshaw.net. All the information is on there. My guest today is Gwen Filosa. I met her when I was in Key West a few weeks back now. A few weeks back. Doing shows there at Comedy Key West. Great club if you're in Key West looking for stuff to do. There's a lot of stuff to do there, but there's also a great comedy club there. Go check that out. I met her there. She is a comic. She does comedy. She was on my show. Really funny. But she also is a journalist. She's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. And she was nice enough to come on and share her experiences with addiction with me. And I think you guys will enjoy it. See you on the other side. Is Gwen Filosa. She is a journalist in Key West, Florida, covering news, culture, and assorted oh my God. It's going to be a long podcast, Arnie. My guest today is Gwen Filosa. Gwen is a journalist in Key West, Florida, covering news, culture, and assorted shenanigans. Follow her Substack, Key West Newswire. She was also on the Pulitzer Prize winning staff of the New Orleans Times Picayune. Hope I'm saying that right, Picayune. Probably said New Orleans wrong. That covered the Hurricane Katrina catastrophe. Her Substack is Key West Newswire, and you can follow that at gwenfilosa.substack.com. That's GwenFilosa. Thanks for being here, Gwen. What's your problem?
Thanks for having me, Forrest. Well, I haven't had a drink or a drug since January 5th, 2008, but it's a daily, let's do our best to keep it going. I was a fall down, terrible alcoholic and cokehead for several years. I never thought I could live a sober life. And today my only trigger is reality. So I'm super
Yeah.
it's still one day at when I was new and they're like one day at a time and I'm like, yeah, forever. And it really is. It really is just one day. But the to me, it's a mind disease, and it just gets stronger. So, but I'm very lucky. I have a solution, and I have so many people. I take no credit for my. I really don't. I take no credit for left to my own will. I make horrible decisions.
Oh, well, sure. That was the name of my special, Poor Decisions. I mean, because it was
In in
pretty much
sobriety, I
accurate.
still my solutions are worse than my problems sometimes, but I have a lot of help, and I'm very, I have an amazing life no matter what my mind tells me on a daily basis, so it's this is no joke stuff. I mean, so many people don't make it. I've lost friends, and it's people think, "Oh, you got 17 years. Oh, yeah," and I'm like, "Dude, it's not a game of doubles tennis. It's just different, you know?" Like, I don't think
Yeah.
about drinking,
Do
but I
you
think being like, going after my neighbor and yelling at them. No, I wouldn't do that. I
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's tough. Well, let me ask you this. Do you know anybody that makes all good decisions? Have you ever met any of those people? Or
I have a couple of friends, they're very logical people. My best friends, I always surround myself with people smarter than me, which isn't hard. I mean, I'm smart, like, I'm a good reporter, but, like, I'll be like, "Oh, should" uh, uh, I just don't I'm not good at life. Like, I don't know how booking a plane ticket, I just booked a flight to Las Vegas, I never go anywhere, and I was just like, what do I do? And my friend's like, "You just book it." So I need a lot of help, but I have friends who actually are pretty good at it. Well, one thing about drunks or alkies in recovery, they'll be like, "Oh, not everyone has a program." I'm like, "I know people who don't need one. They don't need a program to say be nice or pay your bills." But no, you're right.
yeah.
I'm not unique, but I just know my strengths and self care, just not one.
I know a few people that I feel like, at least from the outside looking in, have always made the right decision. And they're always very calm. That's what I always notice. They're always very, when they talk, I'm always want them to talk faster because that's me. Like, I'm like, all right, let's go, let's get to it. But that's because they're thinking about what they're saying. Oh, what a unique,
Which I
you know,
never do, which
idea.
I never think I feel a kindred spirit with you. I know we only met briefly, but yeah, I love my friends. I don't know what I would do with but being my friend is just saying to me multiple times a day, "Don't overthink it." I wouldn't overthink it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, that's my job."
Yeah. And so you live in Key West. That, for anyone that has not been to Key West, I would imagine, I don't need to imagine, I've been there. Key West is a tough place to say. I mean, everywhere is tough. So you can drink anywhere, but Key West's culture is a drinking culture. Right.
It really is part of the culture. I got sober in New Orleans, and I'm really proud of that, but it's because it's a
Yeah.
really good place to drink yourself to death and to hit rock bottom. I think if I lived in I'm from Indiana, I think if I lived there, I'd still be drinking. I would just be in a room drinking box wine going, "How come no one likes me?" But I was able to really hit it hard there, and Key West is similar. I mean, these are like, you can't tell the alkies from the non-alkies because it's part of the culture, tourist town, and a lot of people just drink hard and they can walk away from it. I don't know. It's not none of my business, but I'm saying yeah, I will say I'm just used to it, but I don't begrudge anyone for saying, "Oh my god, how do you stay sober there?" Like, I'm gonna go to Vegas, I hear Vegas has, like, like, strongest AA community. I just said it. You can keep it in. They have the strongest community there, and, I think it's tough anywhere, but we kinda live in, it the thing about it is it's the attitude, like, it's okay to be day drunk in New Orleans, like, nobody you can call in sick, not as many times as I did. You can drink during get a beer anywhere, and for a lot of people, I believe this, there are so many people that can drink normal, and it's take it or leave it, or maybe they tie one on one night and they don't do it again. But I am the person, it is really, the crazy thing about alcoholism is it, and this is my experience, my belief, don't, don't hate on me, uh, but, it's really not about the drinking, it's my mind that I can't quiet it, I can't I've always been this just really nervous little kid, scared, and for some reason, alcohol calmed that. I love being loaded, it felt for a long time, even when it was really killing me, but it's this mind disease
Yeah.
that just is, um I barely understand that myself, but for some reason, my body can't process alcohol. I'm just not good at it.
Yeah. Well, I just first of all, I love gambling. I mean, I'm a gambling addict, and I when there's action going on and I have money on a game or I'm at a casino, like at a table playing with other people, like I like that. Like, I think most addicts will tell you that. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be like strung out on heroin or something, but
Me
the
neither.
but on this podcast, at least, there's been a running theme of like, oh yeah, well, I enjoyed, So I mean, but I think what we enjoy is that moment, that like for me, it's that action moment, not like I'm driving home and I'm trying to figure out, well, I'm already 2 months behind on rent. Like, how am I gonna, or I need to refinance my house now, or you waking up the next day and you know, you're late to work, you're hungover, like all the, smell like shit. When I don't know, I'm just, I don't mean to
I'm
put all this thing. Was that you? Like,
I'm
yeah,
relating to the
but
consequences become I can easily adapt to I throw up every day, and it's like, well, everyone does that, or, but
yeah,
I wanted to ask because I have friends and I've the, gambling addiction, is it correct? One thing I relate to, my friend was saying, it's not the win or lose, it's this moment of, "I wonder what's gonna happen. I wonder,"
yeah, it's yeah,
I I have that with, like, uh, dating women or, like, texting. I'll be like I mean, it does sometimes if I don't keep it in check, it feels like the drug dealer texting. If it's someone really unavailable
yeah.
woman that I don't know, and I'll just start and people are like, "Don't do that." Like, I have to delete and block just for my own it's not about them, but
And
it's that feeling of, "I wonder what's gonna happen," and I do miss for a long time, I miss the irresponsibility of being a drunk sometimes. I mean, I'm not good at it. I mean, some people get sober and they go to law school, they get married, they start a business. Like, I got sober and I'm like, I don't know how to go to the grocery store. I don't know how to uh, I just was like coming out of a coma. It's really people it's really hard out there. And these any type of addiction, people are like, "Well, just stop it." And it's like, you
yeah,
know, you can't. And also you don't I didn't really want help. I thought I was doing really well for a long time. And since I'm 17, people are like, "Hey, I don't think you should drink," or "Hey, I like you when you're not." And I just in my disease, I'm like, "Oh my god, these people don't love me." And it's just I just won't I'm one of these people, unless I've walked in it, I cannot judge what people are going through. And even in
yeah.
certain recovery circles, people are like, "Well, they didn't want it." And I'm like, "Shut up." It's hard out there,
Yeah, well,
man,
two
but
things. Two things with in regards to gambling, because you asked me about the gambling thing. Yeah, it's the win or lose is not the important thing. You like winning because if you win some more money, because if let's say you're at a casino, you're constantly winning and losing. If you win money, then that means you have more money to gamble more. Like if I won a lot of money on a football game and I had like some account, some offshore, this is like now you can gamble. They have apps for everything. But back when I was gambling on sports, because I would have to I'd have an offshore account or an account in Costa Rica or something, which was already shady to get your money. But then that account now would have more money in it. So that was more fuel for me to gamble. It's just like having more alcohol or more coke or something like that. So the winning and losing wasn't the the issue. It was just like I need the money to gamble. And then um, like I think that's the big difference between drink. Like I've heard that a lot with people that are drinking or someone's like, yeah, I think I'm doing okay and stuff. Like when you're gambling, like I knew when I was gambling that I was not okay because I had no money, like it stares you in the face. As soon as you get back from the casino or the game's end and you've lost, you're like, oh, I don't even have money for toilet paper right now, let alone, anything else I need to do, like pay car bill or insurance or whatever. So,
And
but
I when I was,
that
oh, go ahead, I'm sorry, man. I'm on a lot of
no,
coffee,
no,
it's
go ahead. Yeah,
the only way I can get high. All my friends hate it. I'm just on a I just wanted to say,
yeah,
like, from
yeah,
a good example of how uneducated I was about addiction years and years I lived in New Orleans from 2000 to 2010 and then, moved here, but I remember being like, "Oh, gambling's not an addiction, what the f" and then I get to New Orleans, and there's, like, little old ladies holding a plastic bag full of change outside Harrah's because we have Harrah's. And then I read about South
yeah.
Carolina, the video poker that they outlawed because I mean, I just remember and I've heard some of the most I thought I heard heartbreaking stuff in alcohol recovery circles. Gambling is just rips people down, and I relate to the I can't just stop. Once I'm in it, my addiction doesn't stop until something stops it. For me, I think it was just getting so physically ill and losing people thought I had wet brain, and I forget all this. Just every once in a while, I'm like, "Oh, maybe I overreacted." No, we didn't. But the gambling, I just don't think enough people, you know, I don't know. People in America are weird. Unless it happens to them, they're like, "Oh, I don't care." But I've just heard the most
So how do
heartbreaking.
you? Sorry.
No, no, no. I talk too much. Every listener now is like,
What I wanted
yeah,
to ask you before I forget, because you said something before about how like you still like you think about it in romantic terms, like drinking and stuff. So, or like you still, how do you keep yourself? You've come from New Orleans, you live in Key West, you're in these places where drinking is like part of the culture and stuff. But I mean, to be fair, drinking is everywhere I've gone in this world. Drinking's part of the
correct.
culture.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's
um, how do you? What do you do when you feel like you have an urge? I mean, like, what are you doing to and tell yourself in your brain, to
I mean, it
not
really
do
is
that?
one day at a time, and I forget. Every day I wake up kinda with untreated alcoholism, and I'm like I wake up and I'm just like, "Oh god, the world sucks, I'm gonna lose." And then I do a few simple things. I have people I talk to. They can see around corners I can't. And I have to be reminded. I have to be really careful. Like, we met doing stand-up, and I love those guys, and I don't belong in a bar. If I have a legitimate reason and I'm kinda on my game, I pray in the back room where they store the liquor. I'll just hit my knees. I just pray. I don't it works. I don't know why. And sometimes someone will walk by and go, "Oh, that's so cool." And sometimes I have to leave. I have to be really, really careful because, I have a lot of muscle memory. I was a barfly. I loved hanging out at the bar, and, there were so many nights I didn't wanna drink, but the progression got to the point. So I just have to be really careful 'cause growing up, I was like, "Man, I wanna be a serious drinker." Like, um, I watch movies, I'm like, "I wanna order bourbon neat and drink it." In reality, I was, like, driving around in New Orleans drinking Steel Reserve out of a plastic cup, and I had a really good job, Forrest. I mean, it wasn't so
Yeah.
I just have to be really careful, but a lot of times, I have to tell people, my sober friends what I'm doing, and sometimes they're just like, "What why are you going to that bar?" And I'm like, "That's where you meet, like, the best women." And they're like, "No, that's not why we go there." And I have to be real I don't believe that I'm never gonna drink again. I could totally see it happening unless I have, this solution. So I'm superstitious about it. I love talking about recovery, but I get superstitious because even those logical friends of mine like, I'm coming up God willing, 18 years in, January 5th, and people will go, "Oh, that willpower," and I'm like, "No, I'm just really lucky." I'm so lucky that,
Mm.
this I'm the type that
Well,
doesn't
I
do
think you have to
this
give yourself some credit too. You can't just say
I do work
luck.
very hard.
Like,
I do a lot of,
yeah,
service. I was just at the homeless shelter this week, and And that's a good example, like, I show up and these people help me, like, we just brought something up and they're talking to me, and when I leave, I'm like, "Oh, man, they're right, they found a way to." I don't know, it's just to be around people who struggle, but, I love talking about recovery, but I'm always like, "Dude, I'm not a role model." I still still kind of a I can be, really, but yeah, no, it's miraculous to just be sitting here not hungover.
I don't I don't think anybody's a role model in recovery. There's people in gambling that I know were clean for decades and then they went back out. And I looked at them like, oh well, this person could never.
Yeah,
They're perfect.
just had that
Like
I just had
I want
that
to model myself after them.
I just had that
Yeah.
happen, someone that just raised me up in New Orleans, and then someone, I mean, people with double digits that I would have bet me before them. I would have bet it's just my sobriety is it's pretty fragile, if I don't know, if you think about it. It really is just one day. When I was new and they'd say, "Gwen, it's one day at a time." And I'm like, "Yeah, forever. I'm not stupid." And I thought I was being punished. My life sucked, Forrest. This is alcoholism. I'm sitting there with people going, "My body is falling apart at 35. My mind." People thought I was wet brained, and they were like, you know. And then, eh, eh, then 6 months later, I'm like, "I'm so grateful. I'm sober." And but a couple of people, I just was really heartbroken because I mean they're both alive and okay. It's just it could be any of us, and it and in both cases, it started with, getting into a relationship, which is the worst department for me and a lot of people. You just start putting things in front of like, "Oh, I've done so much work on myself, it's ridiculous. In the next life, I want all these women to do work on themselves, but I've done so much work,
Mhm.
and I just stay lone wolf." It's not good for me to, I don't know how to choose people.
Well,
I
I don't think you. I mean, I know I understand what you're saying, and we're talking about like don't put anyone up on a pedestal and that, but it doesn't. I think my whole point of that was is that because going back to you said you're gonna have 18 years, January 5th, I think you said, which is amazing. Is and you said it's a lot of luck, but I think you need to give yourself more credit and because you did that work, that's all you on your own. I mean,
I did
people
do
have
a
helped
lot.
you, and you've yeah. So I hear when you're talking like a lot of negativity, like. And by the way, I'm a stand-up comedian. Like you're a comedian as well. Like that's part of the game is being negative about yourself. Like sometimes, there's people that have never been to a comedy show and they'll stop me like, "Why are you being so negative?" I'm like, "Oh, you've never been to a comedy show." So like
I had that
self-deprecating, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
the stand-up is
but
really oh, go
but
ahead.
I think you need to. I think it's important when you're an addict to in reality in IRL in real life to just step back and be like, all right, yeah, good job. Like pat yourself on the back. You don't have to like get yourself an award or anything, but yeah. And I
Well,
think
I
it's okay
think
to be in relationships too. It's hard. Yeah.
no, I just know when I do it, it's just I pick the most unavailable a lot women that are just unavailable and, like, I'm just like, "Oh, this person's great for me." But I've done so much work that I'm actually doing really well right now, just doing my own thing, and those old ideas are just in my head, well, if I'm not with somebody, quote, unquote, "romantically," then then I'm not normal. Being gay is weird, man. We all have internalized homophobia. But I do embrace myself, like, um, actually getting here on time to the podcast thing, and remember yesterday I was like, "I'm here," and you're like, "Dude,
Yeah.
that's a victory for me." The fact that I made it here on time, I I don't know, it's just like, if I go to the dentist, they'll call me too, they're like, "Gwen, are you on your way?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's 2 minutes away for us," and I'm just like, "Yes, I made it," and then I went somewhere the other day, and when I walked in, they're like, "You made it," like, that stuff is so huge for someone like me to be able to, just things that are kinda everyday. So I do have self-esteem, but
You're
it took, like
24 hours early to the podcast. You were
I was
24
so
hours early to the
confused
podcast.
when you were like, "What are you talking about?" And then I went, "Dude, I was early." I mean, I embrace myself. Like, I got gas the other night. I didn't run out of gas, and I'm like, "Yes." I embrace, those things are I mean, I'm a reporter. Yesterday, I wrote, like, this really tough story, painful story. I did a great job, but then I'm like, "How do I go to the grocery store?" And so and I don't know if I'm proud of myself. I see today that I can do things because when I was new in sobriety, I just didn't know how to do anything, man. They're like, "You gotta take action," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, no, I need to sit over here and feel sorry for myself." And but thank you. But it's really just going out and doing stuff for other people, is, because it's weird being sober, like, people go, "Oh, good for you," or they think that I'm trying to be better than them, and I'm like, "Dude, I have to pray every day to somebody's God that I don't drink or drug and obsess about women to the point where I'm, not taking care of me, and then I have to help people, which is gross, okay? But when I do it, my whole life changes. I have friends who do volunteer work, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, wow, are you an alcoholic?" And they're like, "No, I'm a good person." And I'm like, "Oh, I have to do it to, like, really stay alive." And I thought this was all dramatic. I also thought this was very extreme. I was like, "What do you mean no drinking?" And then they were like, "You gotta give it away and go help people." I'm like, "I don't know. I'm left to my own devices. I just wanna stay home and feel sorry for myself." But
Yeah.
I have to when I do go out and do stuff, and I got, like, all the depression. I don't mean to be I have a great therapist, but I don't know if you have mental stuff. Every 6 months, it's like something different, like the check engine light goes on, and they're like, "Oh, you have OCD," and I'm like, "Stop giving me letters. I'm just gonna be me who has problems, getting on time." But yeah, man, you totally were of service to me because you asked me to be on this, and then I made it, and you were so patient. Thank you. You saved my
Oh,
life.
I'm just happy that anyone is willing to come on here and share their experiences because I think that it's important. It helps me. It always helps me, even though you're not gambling or anything. It's still addiction, and it's all the same beats, And I think it helps other people. And so anyone that agrees to be on this podcast, whether they're an addict or a doctor or an author or whatever, I'm grateful to them. So, but
No, I
so
love
that's why
talking.
when I know we were going back and forth trying to work it out, you were like, oh, I was like, don't worry about it. Like it's fine.
You were
We'll get
so
it done when
cool.
we get it done.
You were so cool 'cause,
Um, I want to ask you a question about something. There's something that like bumped me before that's not even related to addiction. That everybody has internalized homophobia. What do you mean
everyone.
by that?
I mean, all the queers. Like, the other day I was talking to like, I'm, like, 53, like, there was no Ellen growing up, and so when I hit puberty, I was like, "What's going on?" And I'd kiss a boy, and I'm like, "I don't like this." I'm a big oversharer, by the way. Um, and then I just decided at 13, "Oh, I'm a freak, and I'll never know love," and just all by myself. And then, because I
Yeah.
remember my parents aren't into it, and one day I did tell my dad later, I was like, "You ought to be grateful because if I were straight, I would have been pregnant at 15." Like, I just was so confused about, sex being love or sex is my value. If somebody wants that, then that means I'm valuable. It's really strange. But and every once a year they would show the gay pride parade and in 1985 Indiana, and I would just go, "Oh my god." Like, but a friend here when I moved to Key West, this was really the place where I was able to accept myself at a level that I never thought possible. Like, and New Orleans is fine, but it's still pretty and here I can just be myself. Like, I can be mask. That's what they call it, mask, because the word butch
I
freaks
don't
me
know
out.
mask. What's that?
Masculine, I'm mask. I'm a
Oh,
woman.
mask, like masking.
I'm a
Okay.
woman. I
Yeah.
love being a woman, but I'm masculine, and, like, because the word butch always freaked me out, and I could look at me, I'm very comfortable with, how I am today, but, like, I can't pass as straight. It's not gonna happen. It's not, so that stuff is really,
I
really tough.
I will say though, at the beginning of the podcast, you were worried about your hair, so that's not
Yeah,
completely mask.
I'm very I'm very high maintenance for us, and I'm not that kind of lesbian. When people look at me and they're like, "Hey, do you?" I don't have a truck. I don't know how to drive a stick shift. I don't care. I'm not handy, and I worry about my hair, and I'm very girly about things like that. Like, it's like I think boys should take out the garbage and stuff. Like if I'm out something and they're like, I'm like, oh no, guys should do that. If I'm at the gym, the young people, I'll go, hey, how strong are you? I can put those weights back for us, but I don't want to do it. And very
Yeah.
strange sense of it. But no, I do. Um, but it's just it's confusing with advertising, consumer engineering, and to be a woman and to come up like it still kind of hurts like on online, like, people will be like, "You look like a dude," and it's like some stranger from Idaho, or it's probably a bot, and I'll just be like and now I'm like, "Yeah, sexy dude, a hot dude," but it's tough to be
Yeah.
queer because it's just a I don't know, and then I'm totally oversharing, but
Well, Key
I
West, Key West has to be. I mean, I grew up in Miami, and that was like the stereotype of Key West. Growing up was like, oh well, it's very gay in Key West, and or gay, LG. They didn't have LGBTQ term, it was just like gay, um, and I think that I mean, and there's still that element in Key West now. It's just there's a lot of freedom there, like whether it's just like free to be whoever you want, straight or gay, or to be whatever sort of. If you have a fed, I mean, that there's where's that place that I has really good late night food? Mary Ellen's. They have like trivia and stuff right next door to there. There's
love
like the leather shop or something,
Leather
and the
Master.
windows is
That
yeah,
store has been here
leather
for
master. Yeah,
30 Leather Master has been in that spot for 35 years. David Semensky is a leather crafter. It's actually high-end masks, but then it's just the greatest store. I did a story on him years ago, and I was like, "You've been here 30, 35 years?" He's like, "Yeah." And it's actually pretty
yeah.
high-end. Like, I can't afford anything in there, but,
Oh, I
no
bet. I bet. Yeah, no, I wasn't. I mean, there's got the flag out front and the whole thing, and it's just
yeah,
like you. It's like it's not. It doesn't look shitty. It looks like you got to spend money when you go in there, but you wouldn't have a
but it's a
leather
great
master
store.
like that, like prominently displayed in other cities. So like,
'Cause I was never one to buy any accoutrements in public, but I'll go in there and be like, "Hey, do you have, but, Key West is still kinda gay, it's not as gay. The gays all d but when you say gay, that means men. Their dating pool here for everybody really sucks, but there are no and I only date, like, straight, confused women that are cosplaying because they wanna be and I love that. I love
okay,
that because 'cause I'm an avoidant. No, they'll like me for 3 months, and then they're like, I miss the boat captain that's as old as my dad." And okay, that was mean.
yeah.
Keep that in
Well,
though,
when I
folks.
was, but just going back to what you're saying, when I was young, like gay, that's how like little turn. Gay just meant every gay. It made lesbians, it meant gay men. It was like because that's just what it was. And then then you guys got the first letter though, LGBT, because it probably makes sense, right? LGBTQ,
I
like
hate the word. I wouldn't use the word lesbian until I started doing stand-up. I have worked more things out on that stage than
yeah,
I don't like the words, and I do this joke where I'm like, "I just like women." I don't wanna say the word on stage. I just like women, and I'm like, I'm the worst gay. I'm the worst whatever, 'cause, I don't I'm just like, "Why do I gotta be political?" And it's like, "Oh, 'cause all you straight people are passing stupid shit." And, being gay used to be so mainstream, and now it's being but I mean, I don't consider I'm very privileged. I just to be gay, I feel I'm the other. And oh my god, the tourist crowds here, they love me. The older and more male they are, those men love me. Young women kind of look at me like gross, but the men, I just bond with them because I'm so sexist. But I'm in therapy. But I'll say stuff and they're just like, "Oh my god." And but I'm the worst gay. Ugh, the word lesbian, don't you think it sounds weird? It's not even etymology
I
correct.
don't,
Etymology I don't know what that means.
I don't know. It's just I'm not a lesbian, so it doesn't sound weird to me. I don't probably say it, or I'm not around it as much as you are,
You
So I've
internalized
never
thing.
really thought about it. It doesn't sound that weird to me. No,
And okay,
Lesbian?
okay,
No.
but I would never say the word, and then on
It's not
stage
as
I
good
was
as the word is gay. Yeah.
yeah, even gay or queer has
Gay.
come a long way. Queer is kinda cool. But,
Oh, I don't like queer. I think
you don't?
queer is my least favorite, all of them. Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Why?
Because I don't even associate the word queer as anything to do with uh, any sort of sexual orientation or sexuality, like anything. Queer was like a word that was like, like, oh, that's a queer sound coming from that haunted house or so. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a
That's
word
the
that I
correct
didn't, I
term,
can't,
yeah. That's the correct use of the
yeah, or
word.
like,
Like,
I didn't
I
like
remember
that word though, and I don't like the word razzmatazz or something. I just don't like the word. So like when they're like, "Oh, now I'm queer," I'm like, "Oh, I don't even associate that with that." So, but
I just call myself a
yeah,
homo. But growing up, queer was like this horrible, horrible, like, insult to be queer, to be and then, like, growing up, and then now I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a big homo." But no, Key West, the worst dating pool on earth because it's a very decadent place, but I can be whoever I want here. Everyone I know does some type of art, and we all support everybody. I never would have done stand-up. Tom and Joe and those guys were like, "Sure." And I went there to
yeah.
support a friend, and then I was like, "I could do this better because 'cause I'm" see? And now it's like, I'm not a professional at all, but I do okay, and, um, I've just I've gotten so much out of it and the connection with people and letting people laugh about, there's a lot of funny shit about being a homo. And I think I laugh at myself today. Someone warned me early on, she's in recovery and does stand up and she's like, "Look, don't put yourself down." And I've had people come up to me and go, "I hope you accept yourself." And I'm like, "Bitch, it's jokes. It's jokes. I'm going to say
Yeah.
anything." But I do think I'm laughing. I can laugh at myself today, which is unbelievably like a victory in sobriety. Like I can laugh at the I can laugh at things and people can relate to that.
Well, you can say homo. I can't say homo. Homo. If I say homo, it's coming from a place of hey. Not me. I mean, I don't even want to use the weird ally. It sounds like it, but I mean, if I was just out there, hey, look at that homo. It's not. It's a negative connotation. If you're saying it yourself on stage, obviously there's the comedy behind it. I think.
That is the fun part. I do have and it makes up for all
Yeah.
that um self-hatred and
It's
being bullied and teased and scared. Indiana's a scary place to grow up gay. Like I am of that generation. I want to be careful how the fact that I'm alive, walking, talking, okay with myself. I mean, I'm that generation that, you know, easily could have been married to someone they don't like, having children they don't want, and then being stuck going, what happened? So I'm very, and those people are fine, but I'm just saying, like, man, it was it's sexuality's weird. I think sexuality's hard for everybody though. I think it's hard for people
yeah.
to no, it's not. Not for straight people. They're fine. But
Well, I'm terrible. I'm terrible with it comes to relationships, intimacy, romance. Like I'm not good at it. I'm not saying it's hard to be straight, but I'm just not good at it. So
that's what I mean.
it's
And I
easy
think
to be straight.
everyone
What are you talking about? Of course, it's easy to be straight.
and
This
guys
is
relate to me. Guys relate to me when I'm like, God, is it so much to ask to just, little
yeah,
a hot meal and maybe I don't want to say a little oral sex, but guys, the intimacy, my therapist said I can't have it. She said there's too many guards. And even with friends, when I tell them, God, I really love you, like I get so overcome with it. And they're like, Gwen, it's okay. And it's just tough. Also, it's just women make it really hard. I can say that. Whatever you want me to say. Women are tough. I'm a woman too. I understand some of it, but I'll ask a
no,
woman out to lunch and they're just like, I'm not ready for a relationship. And I'm like, I just asked you, I eat lunch every day. I sometimes
yeah.
alone. And my queen's still out there, but
This is what we
man,
want. Keep bashing women, Gwen. We want more of that on this
I
podcast.
know, I know. I'm so sexist and I'm working on it. My therapist told me, she's like, you're like a little sexist. There's a man inside of you. Like there's a little sexist man from the 50s. And we named him Ike. And I'm not doing shtick. I'm
I,
actually, yeah. So my friends will go, Gwen, that's Ike. I was raised up and I come from this honestly, but God, sorry, women. I do love you. I do love women. They make it guys are easy. You guys are so easy. And down here, the drought, I've occasionally been like, "Could I date a man?" And I'm like, "No, just don't." You guys are cool. Like, guys can say stuff to each other, the meanest stuff, and then they're just like, "Hey, love you, man. See you tomorrow." Women are like, "I'll
Yeah,
take it to the grave. I'll take that to the grave." You looked at you didn't text me back, and now we're fighting. I had someone do that to me recently. They were like, "Yeah, I just can't be here for you, and you didn't text me or look at my Instagram." And I just went, "Okay, I trust your judgment."
yeah.
And,
Yeah, my favorite thing, like, that's one of my favorite things about being a guy. It's not even all this, yeah, if you wanna talk about privilege, this, that, what my favorite thing about being a guy is when another guy walks up, like, let's say his hair looked weird or something was on his face, you can just be like, "Yo, what the fuck's up with your hair?" And then
I
just roast him for a while, and then you're still friends like that, and, and there's no way you're doing that with women. There's no way. So,
No, and the guys at comedy, because I don't have a ton of guy friends, but I do at comedy, Steve and Tom, and I was so sensitive. Like, one time Tom was on stage going like, "Gwen's hair is either Dog the Bounty Hunter or Wet Dog the Bounty Hunter." And now I use it, and it's so funny, and we tease each other, and I
yeah,
get it, and I love those guys. Like, I'll walk in and I'll go, "Hey, I gotta write some punchlines." Or Tom loves to do this, Tom Dustin, after a set. They did this he loves to go like, "Where do you think you lost him?" Or, "You'll get him next time,"
yeah,
especially if he
yeah,
did well, if he did good. And I love those guys.
yeah.
But I I was such a girl when I got there. I'm like, "Do I look fat?" And they're like, kinda." And now it's like, I don't know, but I know I love women. I am a woman, and I'm very, this is jokes for but it's all on me. It all starts with me. I've got issues, and um, but sometimes I'm just like, "God, why
Right.
is it so tough?" So, just, yeah, but I thought about the dudes.
Alright, oh, sorry, sorry.
No, 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 lightning questions. Are we gonna do questions?
Lightning questions. That's a good name for him. Yeah, if you had something else to say it. I didn't wanna cut you off,
I don't
but
know, 'cause I just think men are easy, and when I was drinking and drugging, I let's just say I haven't been with a dude since I got sober from drugs and alcohol. Like, guys were just easier, and my friends are like, "You're bisexual," and I'm like, "No, it's just a guy will hang out with you, and you just go, 'Hey, let's hang out.'" You guys kinda know you know what, it's just easier. Men are easier to hang with than women.
we're
God.
masked.
Yeah, I'm so misogynist. Anyway, that's why the guys but you know what? If it works at comedy, I'm gonna keep doing it because they look at me and go, "No
Yeah.
way. Did you just say that about my wife?" I'm like, "I did."
I don't know what's going on outside this window, but it's like, I'm at a hotel, like, full disclosure, but Jesus, it's like the loudest people outside there. I'm gonna hopefully
I
be
don't
able to
really
get rid of
hear
some
it.
of it, but not
I
all.
don't really hear it, but then I'm really good
Oh,
at denial. So maybe I'm so good at denial and,
oh,
I
well,
haven't heard them
maybe
since
I'll
early
get it all out of the podcast. No one will hear it. We'll see.
Yeah, I
So,
don't hear it. I
all
think it's
right,
good.
as you
Lightning.
like to call it, or 8 lucky questions.
8 lucky questions.
Um, yeah, it's a gambling reference, but,
Oh.
what's a
Oh,
small thing someone did that helped you more than they know?
um, early on when I was, just shaking it out in recovery, someone handed me a list of all these women's phone numbers, and it'd been a long time since somebody had given me something out of kindness, and, that was a big deal. I still have it, and I don't have anything, but I have it right here.
Wait, what? Oh, okay, got it. Sorry, thought you were.
Okay.
What song best describes your addiction?
Song? Um,
Yeah,
can I have 2? No.
sure, you can have as many as you want. And
Actually, Wilco
there's no wrong answers to this question. You can have as many as you
what if
want.
you were like, "No, absolutely not, Gwen, I'm calling the poli" Wilco is my
Very
all-time
strict.
favorite yeah, Wilco is my all-time favorite band, I love them, and so many of those songs are about alcoholism or being trapped, and, "I Am Trying to Break Your Heart" is my anthem. And when I got sober, I was like, "Oh my god, all these songs are about really sad death and stuff." But, that song and Via Chicago is at the end where it's basically like, "I thought about killing." I think he's talking about himself, and then he just goes, I think I'll get on the plane." So Jeff Tweedy is, like, I love Wilco. I travel to find them, so I travel to see them. I know it's
I
not
love them
cool.
too. I've never seen them live, but I listen to them a lot, and I like them.
It's they're yeah,
I
I
mean,
just
I don't wanna say underrated. They do huge venues, and they're quite successful, but I feel like they're like one of the great American bands of our generation. Really
and
good.
my friends have no idea who they are, and I'll be like, "I'm going to Austin to see Wilco," and they're just like, "Didn't you see them once?" And it's, I mean, I don't know. It's I love them so much, and even when people like, "It's not cool to like Wilco," then I'm like, "Well, I do like." I also saw Megan Thee Stallion, so that was a really long answer, but I am trying to break your heart is that is exactly how I feel. Even the music alone is how it was, the despair of it.
What's the dumbest excuse you've ever told yourself to justify your addiction?
At the bar, I would loaded, just couldn't I would always kinda go, "Hey, it's not like I have kids. I don't have kids. I'm not taking money out of anyone's I'm not taking food out of anyone's mouth," and I still don't really know what that means, but I don't have kids. Like, what is that? I don't understand. Like, how
That
would
sounds
that
like something you'd say at a bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people would go, "Yeah," because drunks are like you could just say anything, and other drunks are like, "Yeah, yeah." So that was really, stupid. I'm so lucky that if I could have gotten legally married when I was drinking, and I'm not joking, I would have, like, 3 ex-wives. I would be putting other people's kids through college, like, I had to have somebody, and thank you, discrimination. Seriously, thank you.
Thank you for
Now
not
you can
making it legal.
thank you. Oh my god. And,
Thank you,
that's not
discrimination.
it's
Should
true.
be the title of the podcast episode.
I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for homophobia because, and then when people were allowed to get married, I'm like, "Great, this isn't gonna work out. Lesbians marrying? Come on." They're just then they get divorced. My friend got divorced, and I go, "Why did you get married?" She's like, "'Cause, you know," and then she's like, We've got lawyers." I'm like, "Here's $50. Go get yourself some more Toni Morrison novels."
What do you think is the worst addiction?
For me, m I 'cause I like when people go, "I got this addiction," to me, it all starts with fantasy. My first addiction, and I would put all of this alcohol, drugs, sex, it's all a fantasy of, like, my life will be better if I had this. Um, so for me, fantasy is if Andy Warhol said if people would just accept what's going on, they'd be so much happier, and, I like that quote.
What one word would you use to describe your addiction?
Uh, Relentless.
Relentless. That's our first. It's not bad. It's our first repeat in that category in 40,
For
but it's a good
real?
word. It's a great word for addiction. But
Who else said it?
yeah. But
Who else said
I want to say, Jake Marin is his name. I want to say he said it, but somebody said it. I've done like this is the 41st episode, and I've done 7 by myself, so it wasn't with me.
No,
But
it's a
I think
great
it's a great word. I think
relentless. I was gonna say
I
wretched, I
try.
always say wretched, but that sounds so wretched sounds it's not as cool as relentless. Wretched is pretty
I
good.
wouldn't have brought it up other than maybe some listeners would have been like, "Oh, someone said that." But I wanted to bring it up to just say, like, man, I think that is when they said it, whoever it was on, I think it was Jake. I was like, yeah, man, that's a great word because
No, I'm
it's just like the ocean. It's like the way it doesn't stop. Like
it
it's for
doesn't
me,
stop.
it wasn't like that. Like it always keeps just. It's like the wave breaks and then you forget about it, and then the next wave comes and it breaks again and reminds you, and it just keeps coming
I
back.
forget
You know.
every day, and it really is a daily reprieve. It really again, I thought this was so dramatic, and now I'm like, holy moly, like, gotta sometimes it's a few hours at a time. Like, I'm not gonna obsess about her. I'm not gonna, you know, go
Yeah.
out and maybe I'll exercise today. It's just addiction is relentless. Jake is, or whoever else, it's relentless. It doesn't, I'm never cured, which I'm cool about, but, is,
Um, what about one word to describe your recovery?
mhm. I'm just gonna say gratitude. I mean, that's the most
Yeah.
common word, but I just can't be grateful enough, and I can be grateful even when I'm, like, lonely or cranky or sad or in pain about something or happy, but, I never thought I could have a sober life, and even for the first couple of years, I was like, "This'll never work. I'll never have what you all have," and I gotta tell you, it is just available. It is people say this all the if I can do this, anybody can do it, but it's so hard because I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't give up, you know? I'm like, it'll never I'll never forget sitting there for a year, to a couple of years, and this isn't working, and people were like, "Dude, it is. Just go mop the floor.
Yeah.
Make the coffee."
Um, it's technically 2 questions, so it is 9 questions if anybody's counting out there, but I've never even brought that up because that's like a two-parter, but it's fine. What's your proudest moment in recovery so far?
Making it to this podcast on time, I was really scared. I would also just say, uh, being able to be useful. If I pick somebody up at the airport and offer them a ride, those are huge things for me. I'm really not trying to sound self-deprecating, but, just being able to have self-worth and such, and it's only through things like that,
Yeah.
that I
And,
feel.
you know,
I feel like, "Oh my god,
you
I can do things." Like, it's a big deal.
yeah, you just said earlier that you had did some work at a homeless shelter or something like that,
I
or
just stopped in. I mean, I'm not there. I just stopped in to see some fellas I know and a woman, and just chatting about how we get it. And I just always say, "Tell me how you got through a day. Just tell me how you get through 24 hours or 12 hours, and just listen." And, and they're just all kinda like, "Thanks for visiting me." And I'm just like, "No, man, I'm here for, like, I care about you, but I really could use, um, an ear. I really could use a chat." And,
yeah, but that's I mean, that's a big thing to those I can't imagine what it's like to be in that situation, but I gotta imagine it feels alone. So just the fact that you would stop in and just I mean, that's something. You're useful, it's being of service, all that stuff, you know?
well, and down here,
Um,
they all work, and I mean, yeah, they're going through a lot. But I kinda relate to a lot of the mental stuff. I'm very, very lucky, Forrest. Like, I'm very lucky that but no, they're great people.
what's the worst advice someone gave you while you were struggling?
God, that's the thing about people in recovery circles. They give the worst advice about dating, finance, health. Like, I've had people give me the worst medical advice and taken it. That's why the principle of, like, we just share our own experience, and we wanna help each other. So it's like, "Hey, do this." And I'm like, "You've never been where I'm at." But I think, the worst advice I don't know. I used to,
That
like,
that
call
is
them
a great I mean, you are right about that too. It's like always
the
just
worst.
because you're in recovery doesn't mean you know. I mean, it's great. It's great. You're not using, you're not drinking, you're not gambling, you're not eating that,
And
but
I have friends and they'll call me and go, "Did you just, like, say something shitty to me in front of people?" I'm like, "Yeah, stop being a spiritual giant. We were all sitting in our own vomit 20 years ago, and now you're trying to talk like you're." It's none of my business, but it's dangerous for someone, an alcoholic of my type, to start thinking I'm better than people. I mean, I do in traffic sometimes, but it makes me I'm like, "E it it's we're not spiritual giants." I just don't understand that part of it. If I don't have a drink today, Forrest, it's the best day ever, because 'cause I'm probably gonna be rude to
yeah.
somebody at some point. for no reason.
Yeah, that's a good reason not to drink, just to make sure you have the wherewithal and the capacity to be rude to somebody. I support that.
I'm
Yeah, that
telling you.
deserves it. Yeah.
Mm. But I just the worst advice I think would just anything to do with, telling me, I don't know. I can't really that's the type of the worst advice is when they're telling me, um,
I
I don't
think
know.
you like
I think
answered
we
it before.
covered
I
it.
mean, it was a general
There's
way.
not one
Yeah. Yeah.
specific yeah, correct. It's just that general advice. If you haven't and we have to I have to remember this. Don't offer unsolicited advice, and unless I've been through what you're going through, when people say to me like, "Oh, I haven't been able to date in a long time," and I'm like, "Oh, it's not just me," and then it's like, boom, I'm okay. Boom, I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
or I get lonely and people
Yeah.
go, "I'm married and I'm lonely," and I'm like, "Really?"
All right. Last question. What advice do you have for somebody that is struggling?
Well, I just said I don't give advice. I can share my experience though. The
I
thing
asked you though. It's
I
solicited. I
know.
asked you.
Oh, that's right.
It's okay.
I would love if anyone out there is struggling or I give up. Give up. Your way's not working. It's okay to give up. I need to on a daily basis I have to give up my old ideas that, well,
To
she's
surrender. Yeah.
if that woman doesn't want me, then no one wants it's like, "No, actually, player, let's just keep moving." That's the disease talking to me. Or, "Hey, you don't have a ton of money right now." It's like, "Okay, okay." Alcoholism every day tells me in my own voice with authority, it's just like, "Oh, good morning, Glenn. You're ugly, fat, stupid. Everyone hates you." And because of the tools I have, I'm like, "Thanks for sharing." Or, I you know, it's really fucking it's nasty. It's a nasty mind disease. But give up, everybody. Let yourself be saved. The guy said that when I was new. He goes, "Just let yourself be saved. It'll be," and I don't know who that person was that 17 years ago was like, "I don't know what's gonna happen, but this is so bad that I'm just gonna do what they're saying." And that's something? Like, it took so bad to go, "Hey, maybe I don't have the solution. Maybe I don't," because I always thought I would meet somebody and I'll quit for her, and my therapist was like, "Where are you gonna meet this woman?" And I was like, "Yeah, good point." So, anyway, I'm
Yeah.
just really grateful, and did I say your name too much dur I like your name so much, and I like saying Forrest. Did it freak you out?
I didn't notice it until you brought it up. So,
This is alcoholism,
and
everybody.
I still didn't notice it. I still
I
didn't
know.
notice. Yeah. It was fine.
I
Yeah.
just used to work with a woman, and
um,
she'd say Gwen all the time, and one day I was like, "Look, I'm kidding." But that was a good, example of self, absorption, bringing
we've
something
been
up.
talking for an hour though. If I worked with you, it might be a different story, but it's only been an hour, so we're fine.
Forrest. I
Yeah.
just love that name. It is so cool. It sounds like a
All right.
writer.
That's enough. That's enough. That was the final one right there. So,
You're the best. Did I keep you too long,
uh,
Forrest?
no, we're perfect. This is it. We're closing it out. I wanted to thank you again. Thanks, Gwen, for being here. Check out Gwen. Check out her Substack, Key West Newswire. I was reading it this morning. If even if you don't live in Key West, it's cool to see everything that's going on there. Some of the stuff is not cool at all. But it's
Yeah.
still you're doing a great job. I was reading a lot of the articles this morning. I
Thank
was reading
you,
about
and
the diver that was lost.
oh,
I used to be a marine biologist and I was a scuba diver,
yeah.
and
Oof.
that was horrific. That was yeah.
It's,
So
yeah,
fortunately, they never found the body.
when I moved here from
Yeah.
New Orleans, thank you. Please, everyone, follow me. I'm self-employed, or as my mom says, unemployed. But when I moved here from New Orleans, my friends were like, "Oh, you're gonna write about chickens," and it is the craziest news town down here. It's and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
chickens are important. But I mean, we have a lot going on. But thank you, man. I love this.
Yeah, there was a bunch of obviously. It's Gwen Filosa, GwenFilosa.substack.com. And if you can't be in Key West because you want to be there because it's a great place to be, the next thing is to read about it. Not as nice as eating a slice of key lime pie, but still, it's good
Yeah,
reading on there.
and
So
I'm on Facebook and, Key West Newswire, I wanted to call it I didn't I'm so tired of writing my own name, but I've been here 15 years, and my friends are like, "Everybody knows you as your name, if you change it." So we're trying to I'm trying to make, like, Key West Newswire, by Gwen Filosa. I'm trying to it just I don't know, I get so, like, people must think I'm egomaniac, but they're like, "We only know you as Gwen. You gotta use your name for the LLC." But I've been doing it for a year solo, and I'm one day at a time.
let me just
$8.
say, you're not an egomaniac, because if you were an egomaniac, when you sent me your bio, you would have put Pulitzer Prize winning at the beginning, which you didn't. You put it at the
I
end,
did it
which I would
first,
put at
and
the
then I
beginning.
took it off. I did it first because, I mean, I never have to really work hard again. I do, but we all want it for and we I really am like that. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have to." People are like, "Oh, you gonna win another Pulitzer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I did it." But I changed it because, uh, I coulda just kept that part
Now,
quiet.
well, you deserved it. You got it. You deserved it. And
We
reporting on
all
a
worked we all worked,
terrible catastrophe in Katrina in New Orleans, I can't even imagine what it was like being there. And I'm sure that you and the rest of the staff of the paper
yeah, I mean, we
brought
all
some semblance of sanity and stability to that region and that community.
it really is
So
a helping profession, and we just did what we always did. Like, it was good for the city to win the Pulitzers, like, it brought it back into,
yeah,
you know,
and the
just
Super Bowl. You guys, so many things happened that year where it was like, I'm not a religious person, but there's something that was working there to at least be
that
like, all
team,
right, New Orleans,
man,
we're gonna,
there were so many
yeah,
people that
yeah,
they lost their houses and everything, but they did not give up their season tickets, and then it's Super Bowl was
yeah,
people stopped on the highway and just got out on their cars and just screaming, and that was a beautiful, that was now we're
yeah.
terrible, but that's okay. We see, it's like the Pulitzer.
Doesn't matter. You won it. You
We
won
won the
it. I'm a
Super
Denver
Bowl.
Broncos fan. We got your old coach. We got your old coach. I'm a Denver
That's
Broncos fan, so
right.
hopefully we can win one with him. We can win one.
But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. I love
All
you.
right, Glenn. Thank you for being here.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you for being here. Appreciate you being on the podcast.
And thanks for doing this. I think it's so we can't talk enough about, let people know they're not alone. There's so many of us. So be cool, man.
Thanks again to Gwen Filosa for being on the podcast. Remember, if you are feeling shitty, you're feeling down, you're feeling like you might harm yourself or others or anybody, there is help for you. Reach out. Reach out to a friend. Reach out to a person that you trust. Reach out to a suicide and crisis hotline in the US and Canada, 988-988. United Kingdom, 0800-689-5652. Haven't read that one in a while. That one's long. Australia, 131114. Finland, 0925250111. Germany, you know how we feel about you. Too many digits. Wikipedia page list of suicide crisis lines has a list of crisis lines and helplines by country, or find somebody, just pull them aside. There's help for you. Just talk to somebody, anybody, and life will get better. I will see you guys next week. Love y'all.